Hello, friends. Welcome to the Motivation Broadcast. This is part two of Fighting the Devil. I made a statement last week that we don't have a devil to fight. However, we do have one to resist. And resisting the devil is a little different. Well, it's a lot different, actually, than fighting the devil. So I'm going to pick up this teaching this week in the book of Ephesians, or the letter of to the church at Ephesus, written by Brother Shaul, in chapter 6. And I'm going to begin reading at verse 10. Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 10. It says, "Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might." So the instruction here is for us to come to this conclusion, as Brother Shaul says here. He says, "Finally, my brethren, be strong, but not in yourselves. Be strong in Elohim. Be strong in the Lord." Listen, and the power of his might. In these last days, with so many self-proclaimed super saints, and also we have those that have been deemed super saints by the masses. They might as well put on a red cape and a big S on their chest, because they really believe, that they are the bishop super saint and pastor super saint, and we sort of lift them up that way. When I say we, I mean those that agree with their false teaching. Please exclude myself and my brothers. But those that agree with their teaching sort of lift them up. And we really must understand that no human, no follower of Yahuwah has the power that Yahuwah has, but is the power that we do have that has been invested in us by the Spirit of Yahuwah. See, that's what makes us strong. The power of Yahuwah in the chosen believer. Look what he says here. "Finally, my brethren, be strong in Yahuwah. Be strong in the Lord," listen, "and in the power of his might." Not yourselves. Often this is a sign that one is surely going to fall, thinking that they are so strong that they can resist or fight the devil with their own power. Okay, well, let's look at verse number 11. He says, "Put on the whole armor of Yahuwah." Why? "That ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil." Now, these verses are nothing new to the body of Hamashiach. Usually we read these anyway, but I think we read them a little fast. Let's back up a little bit. It says, "Put on the whole armor," the entire armor, everything, leaving nothing out. When something is whole, it's complete. Okay? Then it says, why? "That ye be able to stand against the wiles," the tricks, the plans, the plots, the schemes. You see, when something has wiles, it goes beyond "I'm going to fool you" or tricks. That means that there are plans and decisive moves coming from every direction to the called and chosen follower of Hamashiach. They're coming from every direction, and many times you don't even realize it until it's much, much later. Why? Because, listen, I said it before, this is the most subtle and wise creature that has ever been created here. So he said, these are the wiles of the devil, and you'll be able to stand against the schemes, plans, tricks, okay, divisive methods. You'll be able to stand against them if you have on the whole armor. Not part, but the whole armor. Okay, well, let's see what the whole armor is. Verse 12. Why? "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood." Glory be to his name. We don't wrestle against flesh and blood. But what do we wrestle against? But against principalities. Against powers. Against the rulers of darkness of this world. Against spiritual wickedness. Listen, in low places? No, in high places. Listen, this is a spiritual war we are in. That means you can't do anything physically to fight against it. When I did my research, I saw many camp meetings. I came across many services, so-called worship services. They were trying to fight the devil. You know, they had the staff with the earpieces scattered throughout the congregation, and they were sending messages back and forth, picking out selected individuals, you know, to bring them down to the front. And then they would enter into this big dramatic scene where you have the so-called pastor or bishop speaking to the demons, you know, come out of him in the name, come out of him, you know, all this drama. You know, nothing like what's written in this scripture. Okay? And this is what he's talking about here. He says we'll be able to stand against these things, but not fight with flesh and blood. He said our wrestle is not against flesh and blood, but it's against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness where? In high places. You see, he's talking about the way you think now. He's talking about spirit. This is where we have this fight, this warfare. Okay? 13, he says, wherefore, or this is why, take unto you the whole armor of Yahuwah, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day. Okay? And having done all to stand, listen, keep standing. He didn't say scream. He didn't say have a service. He said keep standing. Why? With the whole armor. Why? Take it on. So you'll be able to stand against what? The wiles, the tricks, the schemes, the plans, the divisive methods of the devil. Why? Because everybody's going to have an evil day. You're going to be attacked. If you are really walking, if you are really called and chosen, if you really have the spirit of the Ruach, you are really going to be attacked sooner or later, and you must know what to do. Glory be to his name. You must know what to do. If you don't, you're going to get ran over. Why? Because you'll be tricked into thinking that you can sit here and fight, and you're going to wrestle and beat. Why? Without the whole armor of Yahuwah. And you need the armor. Well, what is it? 14. Stand therefore, still saying stand. Why? Having your loins girt about with truth, and having, listen, the breastplate of righteousness. Now he's telling us how to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having the breastplate of righteousness. 15. And your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. 16. Above all, listen, above even that, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench, listen, not some, all the fiery darts of the wicked. So here we see he says, stand therefore, and when you've done all, stand some more, and when you stand, have your loins girt about with truth, have on the breastplate of righteousness, have your feet be prepared to take the gospel. Glory be to his name. And then he said, above all of that, have your shield of faith, that you'll be able to quench, listen, all the fiery darts. You see, this is how we resist Satan. This is how you resist the devil. Not these shenanigans you see going on in these false meetings. Okay? Look at verse 17. He says, and take the helmet, where your thoughts come from. Take your helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Yahuwah. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 12 says that the word is sharper. Listen, not as sharp, sharper than any two-edged sword. See, cutting. You see that? Both ways. He says, take on the whole armor of Yahuwah. Shield of faith. Glory be. Quenching the fiery darts. Helmet of salvation. And then the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Yahuwah. You see, those that have been called and chosen into the kingdom must know how to skillfully use the word. And must understand that not as sharp, it is sharper than any two-edged sword. Able to cut asunder, down into the bone and the marrow, the word says. This is good teaching, my friend. If it be the Lord's will, join me next week, and I'll be back with more motivating truth. Until then,